Good evening, YouTube land. I'm Jason Gray, and in this book breakdown, we are covering Millionaire Habits in 21 Days by Scot Anderson. Phenomenal book. I think they, to sum this up, the saying, as a man thinks, so is he, is what a lot of this book encompasses. But I have a lot of notes to share with you. This is a lot of quotes, a lot of ideas that each one of us can look at and think and really go apply and become a millionaire. So if you want to become a millionaire, let's take a look and dive into these tips together. So the first one is, remember, the tools are important, but if you don't change the inside, you will never be able to elevate yourself on the outside of your life. What is going on the outside of you is no more than a reflection than what's inside of you. You could change all you want on the outside. You could change jobs, change marriages, change addresses, but it seems that nothing changes in your life. That is because what is in you is creating your world. You need to change the inward man, and then the outward man begins to produce. So many times, bosses, people, spouses, parents, we want to focus on just the action or the result. And deep down, it's the belief and the experiences and what you really feel on the inside that's going to really drive all of that. So we got to work on the inside first. Hey, the millionaires were able to step out and take a risk. Those who did not become millionaires had reasons not to take risks. Those who became millionaires found ways to succeed. Those who did not found reasons not to try. Those who are still just getting by had all the reasons why they couldn't, while the wealthy made ways that they could. The simple fact is that those who did changed what was in them. Those who didn't stayed the same. So you got to be looking at ways, how can I? What are the possibilities? Instead of, this is impossible, it's too hard, I can't. It is time you realize that you will never go beyond what is in you. As you will see, your subconscious will sabotage your circumstances, ideas, and life to keep you at the level your mind is at now. It will hold you back. You want more, but your subconscious will not allow you to get more. That's why 90% of the people who win the lottery go broke in short time. So remember, what is in you will always come out of you. So you guys are smart. You're tuning into book reviews and learning, and my channel and whatever else you're looking at. I'm sure it's about personal growth or business or sales or finances, all things to propel you from where you're at to where you want to go. Remember, you have to think anyway, so why not think big? I've heard this saying before that, imagine if you think small and you get there, or it works out. You're going to get there and be like, wow, great, everything I dreamed about, all my goals, I hit them. But what if I would have dreamed big? Whatever you believe with conviction, your mind will move heaven and earth to make true. So you got to focus on your beliefs, make sure they're the right ones, make sure they're big ones. Your mind blocks out all that is against what your belief system is. What you believe on the inside of you is what's producing in your life throughout the day. If you change your belief system, you begin to change what happens. What is interesting about this is that it does not matter if what you believe is true or not. If it is true to you, it is true. You may think that you are not smart enough. That is totally untrue. But if it is true to you, it becomes your reality. Money is not evil, but if it is evil to you, then all you see in the media and in your neighbor's life is how money destroys. Next point, guys, from chapter 3. Remember, habits control your world. The beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread, but every time we repeat that act, we strengthen the strand, add it add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable that binds us irrevocably, thought and act. Before we move on, you have to understand how much of your life is controlled by your subconscious. Most psychologists say that 95%, guys, 95% of the decisions you make in a day are subconscious. How you respond to situations, react to your environment, what you think about, most of what you say and do, you do without consciously deciding to do it. It is an automatic response. That means that nearly all of the choices, decisions, feelings, and actions that you experience during the day are reactions that you don't even think about. How many of you have ever been driving somewhere and 15 minutes later you end up at your destination, usually somewhere you've been to a lot, and you're like, how did I even get here? Or where did the last 15 minutes go? Yeah, autopilot, right? Repeat anything long enough and it will start to become you. Now that's exciting if they're good things, right? If you're repeating the wrong habits, it's very scary. Habit is either the best of servants or the worst of masters. Isn't that the truth? All right. Remember this. Your parents said many things that got down into your subconscious, a lot of which probably is not true. You can't back it up with any fact, but you believe it as true. Even though it is not true, it becomes true to you. And so you continue to make choices based on lies. You continue to miss the chocolate of life, missing the fudge of life, missing the good things of life because of something mom said when you were 7 years old or something that your teacher said in the first grade. A belief is not just an idea that you possess, it's an idea that possesses you. And so when you start to recognize some of these, if they're things you really want to change, you got to work with repetition over and over and over and over again to really clear that out. Chapter 5 is why be a passenger when you can drive? The second law here is I like being in control. People love being in control. They hate when they're not. And so in your life, let's say there's a lot of things you have to do. I have to go to work. I have to wake up. I have to get the kids ready. I have to work out. I have to eat healthier, blah, blah, blah. I have to. Switch that line of thinking into I get to. I get to wake up early. I get to go to work. I get to make money. I get to be with my kids. That mindset is going to make you happier and going to produce way better results than I have to. Law number 3 is cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. What goes around comes around. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that, but remember how true that really is. And a lot of times people are scared to produce something out there, something that's good or above and beyond, because they're looking for the immediate payoff. And if it's not there, they're disappointed. Hey, how many times in your life have you done really good for somebody or something and it didn't pay off immediately, but 3 days, 3 months, 3 years later, something amazing happened to you that you feel like you don't deserve? Is that your version of karma? Is that cause and effect coming back to you? The biggest things I want you to get out of this is that every thought is a seed. Wealthy people realize this. The rest of us don't. We just let our thoughts go wherever they want to go, not realizing that there's a price to pay for every bad thought, every negative thought, fearful thought, each thought of your bad past. Every thought will produce itself in your life. What thoughts, words, actions are you sowing right now? Because the cause and effect is going to come back to you. You're going to reap what you're sowing. So we got to be much more self-aware, and when there's a negative thought, stop it and replace it with something positive. Substitute a great life for what you have. The law of substitution. The law of substitution says your mind can only think one thought at a time. So you can't think a negative and a positive thought at the same time. If you're struggling with this habit of thinking the wrong thoughts, then you simply apply the law of substitution. Keep your mind off things you don't want by keeping on the things that you do want. Goals, affirmations, being around the right people, watching, listening, reading the right things. It's very simple. If you begin to think down about yourself, make yourself begin to think up. If you begin to think on the negative, make yourself begin to think the positive. If you think unhappy thoughts, simply replace them with happy thoughts. Whatever it is, you supply it. If your mind keeps going to a particular problem and it's keeping you up at night, switch your thinking from it's a problem to it's an opportunity. If you failed over here and you're thinking about the failure, instead, do what Ford said. Every failure is just an opportunity to start over with more intelligence. Look, guys, good and bad are lies. We make them up. Who's to say what's good and what's bad? You do, and you believe it, so make sure everything's put in a positive or good light. It is the way we react to circumstances that determines our feelings. Hey, guaranteed things are going to happen to you, right? But it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond. I tell my day where it's going, and it always gets there. Wow, what a mindset, right? Great things always happen to you. The law of you. How you see you determines the level of life you experience. We got to start seeing ourselves as excellent, as lucky, as great things always happening to us, as opposed to the reverse. Hey guys, here's a saying that I have. They said, here's an experiment. I heard this once. Someone said, turn to your neighbor in an audience, and I want you to look at them, and then I want you to start with this saying. When I look at you, I see. And then tell them what you see. And everyone starts talking, and guess what? They say, I see a beard, I see a white man, I see a nice shirt, I see a smile, I see whatever it is. And then the speaker got the audience back together and he says, you know what I say? And I want you all to say to people is, when I look at you, I see me. Guys, we're all human. We're all born the same, right? We all have a heartbeat, and we're a human, and we all feel and want more and want good. Our body types, our ethnicities, where we grew up, our ages, they can all be different, but deep down, we're all human. You're like me, I'm like you. So see yourself as great and see everyone else as great. Now, what we choose to do with our life, that's completely different, and circumstances are going to play a role in that. But in you, or when I look at you, I see me. From the book, my parents said, go to college, find something that you love to do. This is a statement most middle-class parents will say. It's not what wealthy parents tell their kids, though. Listen to that. Wealthy parents don't tell their kids, go to school and get good grades. I think it puts the wrong concept into children's mind. Wealthy parents say, no, kids, build a business so your money works for you, and now you can do what you love to do. Some may say, okay, start a business doing something you love. That's okay if you can, but I say do a business that makes lots of money and then start a business doing what you love. Look, money is a tool. It's a resource. And if you're a good person, lots of money is not going to be evil. You're going to do great things with it. Perhaps the most valuable result of all education is the ability to make yourself do the thing you have to do. When it ought to be done, whether you like it or not, it is the first lesson that ought to be learned, and however early a man's training begins, it is probably the last lesson that he learns thoroughly. Great debaters always quote that, do what you have to do in order to get to do what you want to do. And I tell my kids that all the time. My uncle got his degree in geology. He worked a job he hated for 20-something years. He worked hard, he made $70,000 a year and lived off of 30 grand, which is wise. He invested the rest. He retired at 45 years old, moved to his dream place, and now donates his time teaching at a public school and working for his church. He did what he had to do, so now he can do what he wants to do. Look, building a business, using investment vehicles, go at your own risk, seek the advice of a professional, but that's the way to do it. Not go work somewhere, make money, and keep making more and spending even more. You're never going to get ahead. One of the hallmarks of the great ones is their level of awareness as to what they are willing to fight for. They're willing to suffer and sacrifice to make their visions a reality. Look, no one achieved greatness without sacrifice, without going above and beyond. And they never did it with a 9-to-5. Now, they might have a 9-to-5 taking care of stuff, but it's what they do at night. It's what they do on the weekends. It's when they're putting in the extra 4, 5, 6 hours and investing those hours that's going to turn them into greatness, not going by doing the average and ordinary. You haven't been moving toward your ideal self because you have no idea where your ideal self is. Ouch. You got to have that clear. You got to be focused on it and then filling your time in your life with the things you need to get to your ideal self. Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. That was Sir Winston Churchill. Hey, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond, right? If you're always excited. Guys, here's 3 tips I heard the other day from a mentor. Smile more, talk louder, walk faster. Even when everything in your life, morning or day is going disastrous, smile, talk louder, walk faster, and that's going to bring a lot of momentum, a lot of positivity, and you're going to move through it faster. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Thomas Edison, ouch. So many success stories, if you look back, people talk about being in the trenches or the drought or almost giving up or thinking about quitting 100 times, and they did it one more time, and now they're famous or wealthy or living a great life, and they're so glad they didn't give up on their dreams. So never give up on your dreams, and never ever let someone talk you out of yours. And never take the advice of someone on a subject where they're not living what you want to have in that area. If you're taking money advice from a broke person, stop. Marriage advice from someone who's been divorced 4 times, stop. Find your mentors, pick them wisely, copy the successful ones, right? Hey, what you expect out of life, you always get. If you paint in your mind a picture of bright and happy expectations, you put yourself into a condition conducive to your goal. Because that's the law of expectation. What you expect with confidence becomes your reality. And if you find the right mentors, the right system, everything that you want with hard work and sacrifice will come true. You just got to look for that. The law of attitude. You have complete control over your attitude by controlling your expectations. Hey, 2 things you can control: your attitude and your activity. That's it. You can't control your spouse. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. It's just yourself, your attitude, and your activity. And that's good news. The law of attraction. You will attract the people, the ideas, and the resources that go with your most dominant thoughts and expectations. When you expect things to move forward, when you expect positivity, when you expect greatness, that's what's going to be in your life. But you expect the opposite, it just reflects and mirrors back on you. The law of risk and reward. There are no rewards in life without risk. The greater the risk, the bigger the reward. Things, you should be getting uncomfortable all the time. Things should be scary, should be nerve-wracking, should be make you question things, but then you keep moving forward with the goal and you get even more uncomfortable. You fill your life with more education, more knowledge, more support, more mentors, and all of a sudden you go from where you were to where you really wanted to be. If you want to succeed faster, you must double your rate of failure. Okay, keep moving forward, keep learning, go, go, go. Hey, success loves speed. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we've oft might win by fearing to attempt. Never let your fears hold you back. Fear is a negative expectation. Expectations will always produce themselves. Either your faith is producing your desires or your fears are keeping you from them. So go by faith. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Admit that your own private Mount Everest exists. That's half the battle. Put ego aside. Say when you're scared. Get the support, the education, whatever you need to get past that. And don't let it stop you from what you desire most. Okay? 3 more, guys. Stay with me here. All right. Know that in the end you win. You're going to win. You're going to win. If you put in the time and effort that others aren't willing to in the right direction, you will win. It's inevitable. But you have to have patience with time. If you know you win in the end, there isn't much you should be afraid of. You say, well, what do I got to do to get there? And I'll go do it. You always pass failure on the way to success. Remember that. Remember that. No one avoids failures, but they're temporary. Okay? And here's the corridor principle. When you launch towards a goal, no matter the distance, you begin to move down a corridor of time. As you move, doors of opportunity will open that you would have never been able to see unless you had stepped out. Every step you're taking along your path of faith towards your goal, it gets better and better and better. You get stronger, smarter, and wiser. So my encouragement, if you stayed this long in the video, is keep stepping forward. Do not give up on yourself. You're almost there. You're almost there. It's coming, right? Last two. Do the one thing you think you cannot do. Fail at it. Try again. Do better the second time. The only people who never tumble are those who never mount the high wire. This is your moment. Own it, said Oprah Winfrey. And the last, I will leave you with that one, guys. So, you know, the trick to becoming a millionaire in 21 days, is this going to be a financial millionaire in your bank account? Probably not. But you got to be, as we learned in the beginning, you got to be a millionaire on the inside first with your thinking. And then you're going to be able to live the lifestyle, do the things you need to do to produce it in your bank account. Guys, get the book. Phenomenal book. I'll put the link in the description below. Please apply this to your own life. There's some exercises in here. When you get the book, you can read and do. But it's what you think and believe first, and then take massive activity towards your goals. And join me in the pursuit of greatness.